Welcome in, everyone, to the Challenge After Show, Spies, Lies, and Allies Challenge Season 37. We're talking about it. Pam, Dan, Truce or Dare is the name of episode 3. And before we get started, Pam, I wanted to talk to you because people are telling us to watch the aftermath. Why don't you watch the aftermath before you do your little after show? I don't think they called it a little after show, but I felt that tone in their voice via their comment. And the reason we don't do it, guys, is we want to get the natural reaction, what just happened, because back in the day, they didn't always have an after show. They didn't have a place where we go and get the truth or what they say is the truth. So we do this. And now, however, we decided to give you guys a little something extra on our Patreon. We're doing the deep dives, Pam. And that is where we're going to watch more of the aftermath, find out a little bit more of what happened after this episode. And then in our Patreon every week, we're going to have those deep cuts so people can watch us there. But this show is just about the episode, right, Pam?
Absolutely. And yes, we love the comments. And that is why we're doing the deep dives in our Patreon, because we do find out a lot of information then. But the way we do this is we watch it live in real time and then we record right away.
Right away. So natural reaction.
Yeah, we don't get any info because we've just watched it live.
Or influence from other people telling us things. We just want to listen to it naturally.
Yes.
What's wrong with that, Pam? I think, am I living in the 90s? Is that the problem? I'm living in the 90s still.
No, I think to do it in real time and to get that is the only thing. And, you know, that's what we got. It's an after show. It's a recap show.
All right, well, let's go. Let's just jump right into the daily challenge. The original alert for the daily challenge, if you remember, was a text message from TJ. It is now apparently a fire alarm going off every episode for the last couple of years. And I just think it's so funny. Oh, how times have changed.
Pam. Oh, how times have changed.
Because remember how cute it used to be? They used to gather around the couch. It was like they were listening to a story by the fire. And they're like, oh, TJ, let's read a little note from TJ.
Hey, guys, we got a note on our sidekick from TJ.
Our T-Mobile sidekicks got the answer, right?
Whatever they were pitching, hawking at that time.
Nothing like product placement and free advertising for those people. Actually, not free for them. They are paying for that advertisement. But yes, it's called Sea Cave Recon, by the way, this daily challenge. I'm loving it, Pam. I like this a lot more than last week. I liked it for a lot of reasons, but please give me your overall thoughts on the daily challenge first.
Well, this was the first challenge. You know, you sporty people are like, I want to do that. This is the first challenge ever that I was like, all right, that looks fun. That I would want to do. At least the jumping into the water part. I don't know about the racing after that and having to get, be super fast. But it looked fun. It looked beautiful. That water looked just rough enough to be fun to swim in.
Right.
And also really hard. I'm imagining like really paddling through that and it would be hard. But that's the only challenge that I'd ever say, I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
It's not too high. The water looked beautiful and deep.
Right.
It looks like a good, fun challenge to me. And I thought it was awesome to watch and a good, anybody's game kind of thing. It was pretty level.
I thought it was level playing field for everybody. And as you know, Pam, I grew up on a lake. So jumping 30 feet into water is so much fun. I did it my entire life, whether it be out of a tree or we did have these random cement block things that you could jump off into the water. It's probably around 30 feet. And it's a blast. It doesn't hurt. The choppy water though, I didn't have a lot of experience with choppy water like that. So I'm wondering if that's how Michelle got the bloody nose. How the hell did Tommy get a concussion? We're going to get all into that though. If there's so much here, because they didn't say. I wonder if it's the way he hit the water, if it's just too choppy. It's hard to tell.
No, the choppiness I don't think has anything to do with it. That's just more, I don't understand. I was going to ask you, hey, you grew up on a lake. How do you get a bloody nose or a concussion?
If they don't know how to jump into the water, they don't let their feet hit first and they somehow smack their face into the water, it could hurt, especially if a wave hits at the exact same time as you hit the water. It's the pressure against each other. I mean, water is a natural force. It can hurt. If you fall into it wrong.
Obviously, it did. I mean, like, obviously they did get injured, but I don't understand exactly.
So if you in the comments below know, because we're going to do our deep dive tonight and come back with you on Patreon tomorrow with hopefully all the answers on how did Tommy get a concussion and how, this is all speculation right now, how did Michelle get her bloody nose? But yeah. I think the only way for it to happen would be the impact they hit the water. And honestly, Tommy might not be able to give us an answer, Pam. He didn't remember half the damn challenge, the poor guy.
Well, the other thing I'm thinking of is in All Stars, they had, when they jumped, they had helmets and the GoPros on their helmets, and Katie bashed her face again this in All-Star season. Remember, she's done it twice. Yeah. So I guess obviously a landing can give you a bloody nose.
I think they hit their face on the water.
And because a bloody nose isn't that hard to get, but a concussion, that's where it's like, well, why didn't they have them wear helmets again? I don't know. We will come back at you with this info and more in our deep dive, but we are wondering, just like you at home might be, how that happens. We're going to find out. Yeah. But right now, we don't know. I don't know either.
Yeah, Tommy lost his pants and he lost his breath. I mean,
that's another. I was like, how did he lose his pants?
Okay, on the jet ski or a wave runner, as we used to call them, just being told behind the force of the water, it pulled, because CT's ass was hanging out too. So
yeah, okay, that I get. I wasn't thinking about that.
I mean, he lost them all the way. Because he wasn't even trying to cover himself up. He was that gone. He didn't even know where he was coming out of that water. I don't think he knew he didn't have pants on at that point.
Tommy. I wonder if the things were heavy and if he could have hit his own head with his
that could, okay. The capsule.
He cussed himself then, or the water hit it into him.
I don't know.
Remember, that makes more sense to me.
They didn't look that heavy, but they definitely looked like they had some weight to them.
Well, and if the force of the water knocked it in, if he, not like him just bumbling and knocking it on his head.
He seemed fine till he got to the jet ski. You're totally right. That's how Tommy got the.
People drown when they fall off a boat and hit their head on the boat, and that it's not necessarily the falling off the boat. Like I don't know if maybe some other object hit into his head, because the water alone, I don't know. It could be possible, but it seems like a stretch to me. But I don't know.
Yeah, well, all right. Anyways, let's start at the top of the daily challenge. And the top of the daily challenge is Huey and Ashley. And that was some comedy right there, because I was writing down like, oh my God, Huey's done. This is awful. He's going to be awful. And then when he gets in that water, he seemed like he was fine. He said he was using being scared to make him become Hero Huey, as he liked to refer to himself.
Right.
I think it worked. I think the fear in him wanted him to get out of the water as fast as possible, and that pushed him along. So
I mean, he crushed it. He turned into Aquaman. He smoked everybody. Like he beat if it wasn't
Logan. He beat Logan in the individual there. And honestly, I was very happy he didn't just stand on the side of the cliff and pull the classic I'm too afraid to do anything, and then you just freeze up and you don't do the challenge. At least he jumped.
Yeah.
He jumped in right away.
And jumping forward, because this is just like, come on, man, Kyle didn't do it. It's like, Kyle.
He eventually jumped in, though, right? He eventually jumped in.
Just like, I was so scared. I'm sorry. At least he delayed it a good minute. If he did jump in, I don't even remember, but he stood there after everyone jumped in, and it's like, come on. And Amanda had one of I'll save it for the best quotes ever, but Amanda's quote tonight about that was hilarious.
Oh, I mean, you can get to it now. It's close
Amanda
enough.
said, I feel like I have oh no, that was Ashley. So back to Ashley and Huey. He was like, oh my God, good Lord, oh my God, freaking out. And she's like, I feel like I have a kid I never wanted, and I want to beat that kid. Like that was her. I want to hit this kid. She was funny. I thought she was handling herself pretty well. When he was puking, she was supportive.
Yeah, she was so supportive that she kissed him after he puked. What's that?
Like, oh, wow, that is real supportive, Ashley.
That is too supportive as far as I'm concerned. Unless, I mean, hey, if it's like my girlfriend, I totally would. But like a person you meet on the challenge and you're like, yeah, I'm going to kiss you on the lips now. I mean, it's going to have people talking on the internet. That's because everyone's going to say.
No, it's pretty gross. It's pretty gross. I don't know who. I mean, it's not like they're, No, I was like, that is very supportive of you, Ashley.
That's very supportive.
Cool. And at that same time, I wrote, so were they against Michelle and And
I don't know. No, Huey and Ashley were against the first people there that went with them, Logan and Anissa.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then the next one was Tori and Ed and Michelle and Corey L. And my note.
That which brings me to my next question for you. I think Corey made the right decision. Do you tell Michelle she's bleeding in that moment, or you just let her keep bleeding on?
There's nothing to be done at that moment except freak her out.
And I don't think that she's going to die from a bloody nose. So I would have done what Corey did. Just keep your mouth shut.
Absolutely. Well, it's like kids. If you're working with kids and they skin their knee and they have no idea, and then they look down and it's bleeding and they're like, ah! Yeah, anyone's reaction to blood is to freak out. But no, a nosebleed is not going to kill you. Yeah. And she was fine. She wasn't. No, I would do exactly what he did.
Yeah.
And again, I have to go back to the beginning where Corey L is starting to catch on. This is the only thing in the beginning that was sort of worthwhile that happened, to the rookies being picked off one by one and them really needing to unite if they want to stop that.
He made a smart decision confiding in Gabo, because Gabo, he's probably not going to communicate the right stuff to anybody else in the house. So the secret's safe with Gabo now, isn't it, Pam?
Oh, Gabo. That's all I wrote. Oh, Gabo. Oh, Gabo.
He doesn't, he's clearly never watched the show. He's like, oh yeah, partners in importance. Yeah. I'm like, dude, you have no idea what's going. I mean, but whatever. He's
still waiting for Snooki to come out. Like he doesn't understand.
Right. He's like, wait, no Jersey Shore people on the show? What's going on?
Today? Oh, beach today. Yeah. No, he seems like he's just having fun.
He's having fun. Yeah. Yeah.
Gabo.
Yeah, it's I wrote down that it's funny that there's so many hookups in the house. People, getting naked in the house. People are also getting naked in the daily challenge. It's a naked season. I wrote that down. Oh, we should get to Tasha and Jeremiah.
Yeah.
That was awful.
That was awful.
I felt bad for Jeremiah at first because it looked like he was going to drown because of his partner, but then he didn't show any effort though after that. Like he didn't try to swim down or even go into. Why doesn't he just go? Can he go into the cave without her? I don't know the rules on this.
They totally
wait there.
I don't know. They both sucked, but yes, when she was grabbing onto him, I was like, oh my God, that's so frustrating, because I've been there too, like with a 5-year-old, granted, but where they're like grabbing onto, and it's like, I can't move with you grabbing onto me. I can't even hold myself up if you're going to grab onto me. Like you can't grab onto me. And that's just what a person, you grew up on a lake, you knew. That's why you're not supposed to try and save a drown. Like they'll grab you and wind up making you, you're supposed to give them a thing to hold on to.
A thing, right. It's just interesting though that I don't know, Jeremiah, you saw TJ lean down and say, are you both done? Couldn't Jeremiah have said, I could, like, if he really wanted to keep going, I feel like that time Jeremiah could have been like, TJ, I'm still good. Can I swim down and get it? It looked like he wanted to give up as well. So
yeah, I think she was on the ball. Like they were not. I think they were just realized they didn't have a.
Yeah, because if Tasha's my partner, I say, wait for me here. I'm gonna get the capsules. I'll meet you back here, and I'll drag your ass to the jet ski for the rest of the way. Do you have any upper body strength? Can you hold on to a rope? Like that's what I would have told her.
Are you allowed to do that though, or does each partner have to get a thing?
He didn't go over that with us. We'll never know. And please tell us in the comments below if we missed something. Did TJ give us a rule about that? Maybe we'll get it in the deep dives when we listen later, and we can talk about it tomorrow. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, that's
to think about.
The agency, Ed and Tori, they didn't really give away who was going to be the winner. Everyone seemed to do okay. Yeah. And technically, I think Ed and Tori went first. At least they showed them go first. I have no idea how the editing went. But if they did go first, Pam, I give them 100% props because they not only went first, but they won. But we don't know that because the producers can put them in any freaking order they want.
Ashley, and it looked like they went second. Like Ashley and
Logan and Anissa, Ashley and Huey went first. They went second. You're right. I bet.
I just want to comment that Tori was like, shit, Michelle is good. Like my note was, Michelle is good. She's going to be a good competitor. And she's savvy too. She's good. And Tori was like, she's got to go. So then we'll get to that later, but I agree with Tori. I was like, yeah. Well,
not to jump ahead too much here, but she chose Berna, who I think is a very good competitor too. So I think either one's fine. And Berna's a rookie, so she's not breaking up that vet alliance.
Well, so's Michelle.
Yeah, I know, but like if she thinks that Berna and Michelle are both, she can pick whoever she wants.
Why didn't she pick Michelle?
but because maybe she thinks that Berna is just as strong of a competitor. Why not?
Yeah, but Michelle's on a rookie team. That's who Tatcha asked for.
Yeah, but
she said,
but Tori clearly did not care. And like we know in the eliminations now, they can pick a rookie from 2 different teams. They can pick Berna, who is with CT, and they can pick whoever the hell's went, Coriel, who's with Michelle. It didn't matter. As long as it's 2 rookies, the vets are still going to try to keep their alliance going.
Why do they keep, I think it's dumb that they keep picking Coriel, because we don't know what any of these other guys can do at this point. It's like, put 2 other guy rookies in.
Yeah, I think they don't. Well, I think they don't want to rustle. Why rustle any more feathers? They already pissed off Corey. Why not just keep pissing him off like they did to Jay 2 seasons ago? They kept putting Jay in against everybody because why not piss him off the same guy?
So. Yeah. But I feel like, I mean, Tatcha, I understand them being the house vote, but sure. My only theory is that I think Tori fears Michelle coming back and gaming her more than Berna.
And I can jump on board with that. Because I wrote down, I said, it's a win-win for Tori. If Tasha wants Michelle and Coriel, I know they're partners, so you can pick anybody, but why? They're both rookies, so throw it back in. You don't really piss off anybody new, unless for some reason Tori likes Coriel a lot, but she could still put Michelle in. You're right, especially if Tasha wants her.
To me, except for that's my only theory is that she's scared of Michelle.
I knew from the start. I thought that Tasha was not going to be I'm pronouncing her name wrong, and people are going to call me out, but whatever. I'm sorry. I didn't think she was going to be a very good competitor, and she was awful in the daily. And then in the elimination, we'll get to it, but I thought that was a very hard elimination, so I can't really fault her for that one. That one was,
she did a good job.
She did basically as good as Berna, but Berna just took her time on that final one, and I felt that Tasha was rushing too much.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into, so at this point, Tori bangs out the numbers right after the daily elimination because she wins and she wants to know who she should be putting in. And she says it's an even in the house, 14 and 14, 14 vets, 14 rookies. She says she wants to throw Big T in because of what happened the other season. I think it was a bullshit storyline they just tried to do to give us something. I think a producer got into her ear and said, "Hey, do you remember that she put you in?"
Like, I didn't really remember that. It's like,
I remembered it when she said it, but I knew she went against Anissa. I had no idea Big T put her in. So I was like, this is a bullshit storyline. But I was like, it did get me. I thought, okay, maybe they will throw Big T in, because honestly, I do feel like Big T is at the bottom of that alliance. I think that she is not. I still to this day, I don't think she's a good competitor. I've been saying it for years, even though she did great with CT last year. I don't think that she's good. So that's me.
I think she does well when she needs to at certain things, but no, I don't think she's ever going to win a final. I mean,
correct. I 100% agree with you on that.
She can swim. She can do things well. If she has a super strong partner like CT, she can pull her weight. Like, I don't think she sucks or anything. She's not going to drag anyone down, but I don't think she's also like a big, upper too. Even Tommy commented on like, don't get on that treadmill every day. Like she must just not have a lot of endurance.
She must not want to go on the treadmill. Right. So then speaking of Tommy, great segue here. This is where we find out that he got the medical DQ. He got the concussion, and now you're at 14 vets and 13 rookies now. So now the vets they've got the power. They've got the house vote, as you could say. And we don't know how he got the concussion. We're gonna deep dive into that tonight, and we're gonna come back with hopefully some answers tomorrow. You think it might be the capsule hitting him. I think it might be the way he hit the water, but I agree with your capsule theory. I think they're both really good theories.
Or the boat, and then he blacked out and didn't remember getting there because it seemed recent for when he got to the land.
Because he seemed okay in the cave. You're right. So I'm thinking you might be right. And now we get to nominations. Okay. And the rookies are turning on each other, exactly what the vets wanted, because Taco is calling out Michelle and Coriel when she could call out a vet or something. But instead she tries to call out other rookies. I feel like the rookies need to sit down, Pam, and have a really long conversation about, I think that will happen, hopefully, next episode or the following one. Like, what are we doing? Now we're down in the numbers. Now we need more than ever to stick together and try to win in a daily challenge. Now, if 2 rookies win a daily, that's going to be huge.
That's what needs to happen.
That's what needs to happen. But there's only 2 full rookie teams. And as we've seen, when a vet and a rookie win, like tonight, Ed and Tori, Ed had no power to stand up for. He's just rolling with Tori because why not?
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, and then they're forming alliances with them, which is at this point what you need to do to stay in the game.
You want to stay in the game. And as much as I say, man, I want to take down the vets, I want to form this amazing rookie alliance, it's something I would want to do. But your first time on the show, like if it was my first time, I just want to stick around as long as I can. Cam, I said Cam, shout out, Cam lives. Cam and Cara live. And I would just want to stay on the show, get my daily paycheck, get my face out there to the world, because after all, that's what these people are doing. They're trying to get their face out there. They're trying to get on other shows. They're trying to get asked back on this show. That's what it comes down to. Let's be honest. The money's nice too, but like, they want fame.
And hopefully win if you can. If you've got a good partner.
That's on the back. That really is though, Pam. That's on the back burner though. Yeah. They want their name out there for if they come in like to like what's her face last year, Amber B. If you can pull off the win, that's great too. But just stay in the damn game.
Yeah. Agreed. But wait, we have to go back to when Tori was talking to, was it Devin and Anissa?
Yeah, it was Devin and Anissa, yeah.
And Devin just said, we need to put in Berna.
Berna, yeah.
I don't like her. She's weird. I don't like Berna. She's weird. That was his thing.
And I'm not getting that vibe from her, but they're not really showing much about her. So I'm not sure why she's so weird to Devin. I feel like Devin's a lot like me, so he'd be reading people pretty quickly and kind of making decisions on them. So I don't know why she's weird. She's not giving me that vibe though.
Well, she doesn't seem weird, but she seems like, why you make silly joke when I go compete? You know, she just seems serious.
Yeah.
And is not serious, you know.
It could be a cultural thing too. Like meeting Devin, if you're not an American, you might be like, this guy is off his rocker. So
on that, Nelly and Berna is the strangest thing to me in the world. Like, he's so silly and she's so serious. He's like, and not with cute boy in the room to come back to. You know, it's just funny. Like, is she even into him? Like, yeah, he's lying on her legs and stuff. Or is she just like, boy's interested in me, I'm just going to let this guy keep doing his thing because why not? It's good to have people like you. I'm not even sure. But I wanted to save this conspiracy, but I think that it fits in right where we are right now. I want to give them a shout out. Someone that commented, is Rock 20 had a conspiracy that he or she put in. It got pushed all the way to the bottom of our comments last week. And the conspiracy is that Ashley and Nelson pre-Challenge 37 said, hey, why don't we form this relationship and have a storyline already on the show and, you know, get a good storyline going right off the bat, and that could be good. And Nelson clearly is showing he's really not even that into her anyways, and now he's making the storyline even better by going after Berna, and then Ashley can ham it up more on the pissed off side. Now, I don't know if I believe the conspiracy, but I love a good conspiracy. So there it is. I think there might be something to that.
Right?
It's not as off the wall as it could very well be true, because that came and went real quick, like that plot point where Ashley was upset. Like, it seems like now she's accepted it.
Well, she seemed pissed during the eliminations tonight though. So that's where
presently pissed, but she never had a conversation with Nelson about it the next day. Like,
well,
now
we don't.
At least they didn't show, but now
you would think they would. You would think they would though, Pam. So you might be right.
Berna and Nelson are now like an accepted couple, but there was never any discussion after the club freaking out.
Right.
So
right.
You would think
that was a fun conspiracy, because you know that damn well, like Bananas. Remember that time that Bananas had his sister or someone write a bunch of notes, and so it was in girl handwriting, and then he placed them around the house. I mean, people plan stuff to come on the show to get good footage, good content, good storylines, and that's an excellent example of that, I think, with Bananas.
Yeah. No, I think that could likely be true, because then it gives Ashley an enemy. It gives a romance. Like, it's fine. They might really have been hooking. Like, there might be some truth to that they exaggerated for the show.
Hell, Wes and Bananas came in one season on purpose working together, and that didn't pan out as great of a storyline as I wanted it to, but it was still pretty cool. I mean, they did go against each other, you know, in an elimination there.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
But that would be one of those storylines that I think producers hit them up. They had a conference call and said, hey guys, how do you feel about this storyline that we're trying to do this year? You guys work together for the first time ever. We think it'll get some viewers. And they're like, sure, what the hell? Why not? You know?
Yes. So. Well, Bananas is certainly well aware. He said in many an interview he considers himself a producer and he crafts his storyline.
Right. Okay. I mean, yeah.
Admittedly.
Why the hell not? We want to be entertained after all. Yeah.
I think what's going to, be good. I think what will the audience want? What will this? And that's fine.
All right. So back to nominations. Tori calls out Big T. That turned into kind of a nothing burger after all, but they kept that storyline going. There's a confessional where Casey speaks and says, I can't believe Tori's saying this. She's going to break up the vets. I wrote, oh my God, even with Nany attached to her, she still isn't good TV. Casey, I cannot get on board with this girl. She does not, she's not even in the episodes. Yes, we introduced that her and Nany are a thing now, right. And then she's gone. Like she's a nothing burger. I know she's this great competitor, but I can't get into her. It's blowing my mind that she's still there.
I like Casey, but a lot, but I don't think she's particularly amusing. I don't think
I just can't do it. Anyways, that was a side note, just because I saw her after 3 episodes, and she's in a confessional, and that's the only time we saw her for a split second. So that was me.
No, not this episode, not even a lick.
No.
Nany. Yeah.
Speaking of not even a lick. Nelson's partner. Can you tell me her name?
Hold on.
I know, right? Because it's impossible to do it.
Hold on. Not only can I not tell you her name, can you tell me anything about her that might trigger my memory?
I can tell you that she's black. I don't. How else do I don't know? She's a girl.
Not.
How do I describe her besides that? She's Nelson's partner.
I have no idea.
Because Pam, I don't remember what show she's from. I don't remember anything about this girl. I know her name now because I kind of had to look it up. I had to do a little more research.
I don't know anything about her. I think there was one clip where they showed Esther and another black girl, so it has to be her because
that is correct.
But I don't know her name.
I want to say she's on Love Island UK, but that's a pure guess. So I'm 100% could be wrong.
She has not gotten any screen time. No,
her name is Priscilla.
I didn't know.
And that's just, she's got no screen time yet. Luckily, she's paired with Nelson, so she hasn't had to do anything yet. I mean, yeah.
No,
anyways.
That's a good point. She's not gotten a lot of camera time.
Yeah. Okay. So Big T and Tori talk after the compromised agents are Taka and Jeremiah, and they talk about how basically Kyle's like, and it's a decent point. I actually like this point that he said. He said, if you put Big T in, is that going to break up the vets alliance? Yes.
And it is. You can't declare war like that, even though she's not American. She's technically part of she's right. She's between a rock and a hard place because doesn't know everyone the way they know each other, Big T. She is at the bottom of their pecking order completely. Right. And
she's not a Jenny. Remember didn't Jenny place did she win? Did Jenny win? Wait, Jenny, remember Jenny? She placed though. But you remember Jenny, if she was back, I mean, you can't put her at the bottom of your pecking order just because she's brand new, but Big T can. It's different.
Yeah, Big T's not intimidating anyone. She's a pawn for the veterans. So she'd be better off siding with the rookies and adding numbers to them because the veterans don't care about her.
Which brings me to a point, you really wanted to see Michaela back. You really want to see Akel's back.
Yeah.
Jenny made it to a goddamn final and she never came back on the show. Now, did they ask her? Who knows? Did she have COVID? Who the hell knows? But that person should be back on the show. And if she's not on the show, why
Jenny was up twice.
Did she come back?
I don't know, but she's also boring as hell. She's good, but she's just
Oh, you're right. She did come back because she lost to Tori, didn't she? And then she came back. You're right. So they did bring her back. So she wasn't.
Tori sent her home once in a hall brawl.
Yes,
so then
correct.
She came back and she was in a final. She's fine. She's
because she got her skull.
Again, she's the female Fessy.
Yeah, but you know why Jenny was in the final though, right? She got her gold skull.
Oh, against little
Jen, the stick Jen, the really tall stick named Jen, I think.
Oh my God.
He interviewed her. Yeah.
Yes, right. Jenny went in against someone that she literally could tumble over.
Yeah, mold over. Yeah, and then that's how she made it to a final because no one wanted to go against Jenny the rest of the season. If you remember that exactly. All right, enough reminiscing, but I do love to reminisce.
I don't miss her though, put it that way. I mean,
I don't either. I'm just trying to think of people that have made it pretty far, and then all of a sudden, like, they're gone off the show, and yet there's people that are like, oh yeah, Michaela's coming back. Not just you. There's a lot of people out there like, oh, Michaela's back next season for sure. I'm like, based on what? My God. All right. Sorry.
Well, I do want to give kudos to casting. Well, I can save this I don't want to jump. Well, spoiler alert, you should have watched the show, but I do. There's so far, the casting is good because there's a lot of people that have gone home. Each episode, the person that's gone home, I've been really like, man, I wanted to get to know them better. Like every person that's left so far, I've been like, they're cool, and I wish that they didn't leave. I mean, I don't really have
the only one I'm disappointed that left so soon is Kells. I really think that he could have bashed some heads in some cool eliminations or some cool daily challenges. Yeah, I would have loved to see him just do something big. But
I wish he was a mercenary or something to take out Fessy at the end. How beautiful would that be?
So here's what I wanted to happen tonight. When Tommy went home and they were at the elimination, and he's like, well, so Tommy went home, but you know what? We got this person that we're going to bring back in. Boom. Kells comes back in.
I wish
what I thought.
I wish that happened. That would have been so good. Like, well, there's one guy who hasn't even caught his flight home yet. Like,
boom.
Oh my God. Like, well, we're bringing you. I mean, they can do whatever they want. They brought Ashley back.
I know. That's why they decided, hey, Maya and Corey L., we think there's still storylines left for you guys. Instead of bringing another guy to go, so you guys have to stay, we will put you guys saved and then just make the girls go at it. I thought, wouldn't it be great if Kells walked through that door? Because the other guy that went home, that Renan guy, I don't care if he came back. So people want to see Kells. Plus the reaction that Tori would have given, it would have made for good TV. And they should be sorry they didn't do it, Pam.
I am writing down for our deep dive on Patreon. We'll find out what happened to Tommy, and we have to discuss, did Kells already leave the country? Because that would have been really good. Like, was that ever?
They sent him home pretty quick, but at the same time, how hard is it to just like, hey man, can anyone that gets eliminated just stay one more week in a plush house just in case we need you again? Like, what's so hard about that? Because Ed came out. Where was Ed? Ed came in later in the game, right? He was somewhere. He's obviously in some cushy house.
Because I watched the aftermath, he was with them pre-quarantine. They don't know he didn't know he was going to be like a second draft pick.
Correct. And they have a bunch of people they do that with. So how hard is it to do that with Kells? Say, hey, Kells, maybe we'll use you. Let's pay you your weekly salary, which is probably like $1,000 max. There's no way it was more than that. Like, that MTV's got money coming out of every orifice. So whatever.
I agree. Let's write a letter to Mark.
Let's write a letter. Okay. Do you want to get into the elimination? I don't have anything else here.
Hold on, a lot of shut up Josh moments took place during the house deliberation.
All right, give me all your shut up Joshes, and then we'll hop into the finale here.
Well, I thought it was cute that Tori started off like, yeah, congratulations, man, that was hard. We kicked ass. And then Josh was like, we don't have a lot of time.
Well, Ashley jumped in first though, Pam.
Oh, Ashley was a jerk, but she was funny. That's where Josh fails me. It's like, shut up, Josh. Ashley already said it, but funny. Like, wouldn't
it be funny though? Or wouldn't it be a great thing right there though when Josh opens his mouth there and says, we only have a little bit of time, we should pick someone. One of the rookies from last who liked Kells and realized that Josh made that up should have jump right in and say, oh, you want me to pick someone, Josh? I'll pick your ass. That's what he should have said.
Yeah, how about you,
someone should have said. A rookie.
Yeah, how about you, big mouth? You keep you stirring up shit in this.
That's the type of thing, like, but that's what's missing from these rookies. You need a little bit of extra, whatever it is, nut sacks on you to just say it there. Go against them there because you're on the chopping block. So screw it. If you say something or don't say something and you're a rookie, Pam, you're on the chopping block. So why not get your 2 cents in?
Like Coriel. It's like, why am I okay, I guess because you already, right.
Coriel, right then and there, when Tasha throws it at you, say, hey, Tasha, why don't you say no to that? Why don't we both throw Corey in because he's a big fat liar? Because apparently they don't like liars when I don't even remember her name now. Michaela? Who's the first girl that went home? Michaela lied about not having a list, having a list, writing a list, whatever that was. Well, Josh is doing the same kind of shit in a different way, but since he's a vet, we can't say anything to him. Come on, rookies.
Someone needs to rally the vets. The other thing,
rally the rookies. Rally the rookies.
The rookies. That's what I mean.
I know.
This is what I have as a soft prediction.
Okay.
Maybe more of a wish/prediction, a wish diction, is that CD doesn't give a fuck about the vets either. I feel like he wouldn't be scared to rock that alliance boat that much, that maybe CT and Berna should like lead the way CT did with the Brits.
All right. I'll tell you why I don't think that'll happen. CT always sits on the fence for as long as he can until he has to do something. And this season, he's not paired with a big T. He's paired with a Berna, who not only kicked some ass tonight, also asked to be his partner again, and she could choose anybody she wanted in that house. I think CT's going to sit pretty until the end. I do.
I definitely think he's going to sit pretty until the end, but I think he'll be one of the first people to jump ships on that Vets alliance. He doesn't need Josh needs his number shield.
Yeah.
To not go in. CT doesn't need those shields.
You know what I want to do at the end of this episode before we wrap up? After we talk about the elimination, can we talk, after watching 3 episodes, can we pick 2 guys and 2 girls that we think will make it to the final?
Sure.
I think that because it's up now that we know a little bit about what the hell's going on, I'd like to pick 2 and 2. I don't have them yet, but I think that we can figure it out based on suggestions from both of us.
Sure.
Okay, so the elimination is called Slipping Up. Now, we have seen a version of this game, but it looks like they made it harder because they've done the ladder thing. We have to build a ladder and go up. But the new rules, Pam, were that you had to use all the pieces.
Yeah.
And also, it looked like the pieces were different sizes and that it went up like this. So the piece either got smaller or bigger. I forget which way. But you had to do it right or the piece would not stay on the pole. Right. It would not stay on the pegs.
Yeah.
The other issue, that looked like the poles were super slippery. Yeah. And there was nothing, the things that were in the wall they had to put it on, there was no like ledge to hook it in.
Right. It was just a knob.
That looked like it made it insanely hard, Pam.
I mean, that was yes, it was great. I loved it. I loved watching this, but that was so frustrating. Because at first I was like, oh, come on, she's an acrobat. This is like not fair at all. But then it's like, okay, even if you're an acrobat, you're not stacking up your own ladder. And I mean, she's
fair enough. But I do think that it's not a conspiracy because they didn't know that if the producers knew that Berna was going in, that's a great conspiracy because that's a game picked for her to beat someone like.
Well,
we don't know her skills.
I said, come on, that's like putting Fessy in a hall brawl every time. Like, It is obviously she's got the advantage there.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Fessy in a hall brawl, not because he could win, just because people want to see 2 big guys go at each other.
Yeah, but not Fessy and Nelly, and then Fessy and Jay or something. It's like
no. I'm talking like Fessy and Jeremiah.
No, oh God, that was like Jen and that girl. It was like a flick.
Well, no, but Fessy and Jeremiah are 2 big guys. That would be insane.
Jeremiah's really skinny, isn't he?
Dude, Jeremiah looks jacked up to me. I think he plays football.
He looks really slim.
He's slimmer, but his shoulders are like as big as my head. Anyways, whatever.
I don't know. Well,
tell us in the comments below who would win in a hall brawl, Fessy or Jeremiah.
Was big. Like
I'll pick Jeremiah just because I hate Fessy so much.
Yeah, but yes, so she certainly had the advantage there, but it proved to be a difficult task no matter what your skill set because of everything you just said. And and it seemed like it just was like really faulty. It's literally like a house of cards. Like every time you did one more thing, it's like, my knee, and then Berna just seemed to get her rhythm and figured it out but it was close. I mean, that was stressful to watch. It wasn't like he dominated. Oh my God, poor Tatcha. How could she have ever tried to compete in this? Like Tatcha did a great job for your average bear, like against Berna, who's
I thought
circus performer. So I thought it was a great elimination. Should we jump to Tatcha yelling at Tori?
I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wrote down. Oh, I laughed at this. Nelson says like he likes the way she maneuvers her body to Berna when she's doing her thing up there. So that made me laugh.
But I thought that sounded actually not Nelly, not like creepy. He was like, she knows how to maneuver her body in a way. Like I think he was being sincere about it.
So that's funny that you read all because all his confessional comments I read as super creepy. His last one was like, "Oh, come on, baby, come back to my bed. I need my cuddle time with you." I'm like,
but that wasn't subtle. I don't think Nelson's good at subtlety, Dan. I think you're giving him too much credit, like to say that he was like saying she was really maneuvering her body well.
Pam, I think he was being a little too needy and greedy there.
Exactly. Never gets old. But Nellie and Berna, I can't wait to see that unfold. It's just the silliest. Like, if you made me pick the wackiest couple in this house, that like might be it.
Nellie is definitely burning for Berna.
Burning for Berna. And she's I can't think of one. She's nibbling for Nellie.
No, you did think of one, Pam. Don't sell yourself short. You definitely just thought of one. Nibbling for Nellie. If you guys are still listening, will you please hashtag nibbling for Nellie and burning for Berna?
Burning for Berna, nibbling for Nellie. So, I mean, I liked, so basically we've sort of, there was for the first time this episode for the season, quite a bit of filler in the beginning, like Nellie's boot camp and stuff, which was cute. And that's when I was like, what a strange couple. Corey was funny, but yeah, there was the real meat and potatoes of this was the daily and then the final. And then Tasha getting mad at Corey, which I get, or Tori, not Corey, which I get, but like, she didn't make her promises. It's like,
nope, and she said, I'll see. And if we go back in time, they showed it again. I'll see what I can do. That is not.
I want to know, but I'm not promising anything. Yeah, Tori certainly was not like lying or fake, or she said, let me know, because she would take it into consideration.
And you know what? I bet they'll have Tasha on in Aftermath, and they'll ask her these questions, and then we can do a deep dive on maybe there's a scene we didn't see. Maybe there's more to it. Huh?
We can break down the breakdown. So you guys are getting a live after show with our first hot takes, and then join Patreon for as much as $1 a month. Is that what it is?
That's all it is, yeah.
$1 a month. And you can get our breakdown once we know the info.
Yeah, so, Tommy, I want to do a Tommy thing, and I want to do a Tasha thing for sure.
Find out if Kells could have possibly come back.
And a Kells thing, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, there wasn't that much to it at the end.
That's your episode. Jeremiah is now with Big T, and Berna stays with CT. Those are the new two teams, but they're not only one of them is new. If you do the math now, you have 14 vets and only 12 rookies. So the vets, clearly, if they keep doing what they're doing, and I'm underlining it, they have the power of the house. However, I know you don't want spoilers, and I'm not going to give you spoilers. They showed something, I'll just say this, they showed something in the preview for next week, and anybody that watched it will see that it has something to do with the vets. So,
well, my advice to the cast members of 37 is Michelle and Corey L., you better step it up and win next week, because that's the only way you guys are going to put to even get the numbers down back to even. Yeah. And then someone really has to unionize, organize, what Jenna and I were saying last week too. They need to get those rookies to figure out how the game is played.
Yeah, and I think that's a great transition into picking some people we think that are going to make it to the final. Oh, and by the way, you're going to have a lot of shut up Josh moments next week. I also wanted to add that in. Oh, wait till you see what goes down. I mean, and by the way, I don't know spoilers. It's literally a clip like this that I see every week when I watch the spoilers, which MTV gives you for a reason. So,
as we know from the Ashley Nelson cut and paste where he's talking to another girl, they can mess up what you're seeing.
You know what's so crazy too? Majority of the time, I watch the 30-second next on the challenge, and I literally 80% of the time forget next week what it was even about. Like, I have no idea, because my week is filled with so much crap for my brain to remember and do, that I totally forget what was even on that next on. But it gets me excited for the next episode. I can't help it.
Now, are we doing our picks on this or just on Patreon?
Let's do them here. I think it's a fun way to end the episode tonight.
If you listen to our Patreon, I mentioned White Lotus, and if you didn't, I wanted to say
picks of the week. I thought you meant picks for who's going to be in the final. Yes.
Okay, we'll save that for Patreon then.
We should say that. I want to say that for Patreon. Yeah, that's another thing. If you guys go to our Patreon and watch us every week, we do what we like to call the picks of the week, where we talk about TV shows and movies that we would recommend that you've watched, that we've already watched. And we talked about it last week. You recommended White Lotus last week.
Yes.
And I recommended Behind the Attraction, which is on Disney Plus, and it's about Disneyland and Disney World and just Disney all over the world.
I almost got you a sparkly light Disney thing that catches in your window.
What do you mean you almost got it for me?
I almost got it because it was from like Wish, and it was going to take 6 to 9 months to ship. It was like,
oh my God.
And I was like, oh, I'll get that for Dan. And I was like, I'll talk about forgetting. I'll forget where I live by the time
I've purchased like 2 things from Wish. I got them both, but yeah, I got them 3 to 4 months later. It's insane.
3 to 4. Well, we're used to Amazon Prime. I got this and I was like, what the hell is this? And I'd ordered it for Luke like a year and a half ago.
You didn't even remember you ordered it. Right.
Oh, so back to not remembering though.
But they're smart about it though. Because it doesn't cost a lot of money. So like, they're not going to ask us because you forgot. You're like, oh, I spent $5 on this.
Fun surprise. So maybe I should order it for you and you'll just get a random fun surprise and I'll forget to send it to you.
In a year and a half, right?
Yeah, you won't even know. You'll just be like, oh, Disney.
What were you saying? Sorry.
I don't even know.
You said I want to get back to picks or something, or what did you say?
Picks. Well, this train of thought is going so off the ledge of the tracks, but I was going to say for those who did watch Lotus, there's a setup in the first episode that I completely forgot by the end of the episode and was like, oh yeah, like of the series, and was like, oh
so,
yeah.
Hey, no spoilers, but I remember.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, wait, no. I mean, for me, what I'm going to say to you right now, I remembered it the whole time, but I was completely wrong with who was in the box. I was completely wrong, and that's why it was so. And that's why the ending was so good on that damn show. Oh, so Pam, literally after you recommended it last week, I watched it in like one day.
Isn't it great?
So good.
Great. Yeah, it's great. So then, okay, well then so White Lotus is our Pam and Dan pick for the week.
Great recommendation, Pam. I did appreciate it. It was a great find on HBO Max for those wondering where the hell.
Tell us what you think too.
What's that?
Tell us in the comments what you think of White Lotus if you watched it or didn't watch it, and then maybe we'll do a special Patreon on Outer Banks since we all watched it and loved it.
People have been wanting us to do Outer Banks. I do love that show. I should do it. I'm going to be visiting South Carolina in November. I should do it from my parents' dock. You'll be like, oh my God, he's on the set of Outer Banks.
Oh my God.
In Charleston, yeah. I'm going to pick a couple rookies here that I think can make it to the final, just because they're on my mind, because we're only seeing rookies do shit because the vets are kind of just sitting back and doing nothing.
Yeah.
I really like Berna after this episode, obviously, and I really like Corey L from what he did a couple episodes ago, and I like the way that he's not afraid to say, no, screw you. I'm liking this guy Corey L, so I'm hoping big things for Berna and Corey L, and I think they have an opportunity to make it to a final, even if they're rookies. That's how it's gonna be so much harder on them. So yeah.
I'm with you on those two, and I would add Michelle and Ed, who's showing himself to be probably good at a lot of our 5 things. So, yeah.
And as far as vets, I'm going to pick CT because of what I said earlier in the episode. I think he's just going to ride the wave, the Berna wave, and I'll throw Devin in there, not because he's strong and can win finals. I think he'll maneuver himself through as well. I'm trying to think of some girls. I mean, you want to say Tori, but I don't know about Tori. I'm trying. Any female vets that you can think might make it to a final?
I mean, like Tori comes to mind. She's doing well in these dailies, and she's winning, and people, But yeah.
The problem is with the vets. I think they all have an equal opportunity because they're not going to turn on each other for a while. Well, never mind. But when they do, I wonder who's at the bottom of that vet list besides Big T. Give me some names. Ashley, who's at the bottom of it?
No. You know
what I mean?
No, Ashley's in there, ingrained in there.
Well, I don't know because Nelson's going to want her to go home because he's like, I'm sick of her being mean to Berna, maybe.
They seem over that right now. At least in this episode, it didn't seem to be an issue.
Like, who's at the bottom of the vet?
Yeah, it went from like they were talking.
I think, I mean, as much as we don't want to say Anissa, like they don't want to run a final with Anissa.
Anissa is at the bottom, Big T. I mean, anyone that's perceived as slightly weak. So then Ashley and Amanda. I mean, they're not Casey, Tori, the strong girls are Nani. I mean, those are all the like, they're fine. Tori, Casey, I think are perceived as the strongest girls. Who else? Vet girls.
I don't even know. Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. I mean, I'm sure we're forgetting someone and they'll call us out in the comments section, but.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ashley has proved herself enough times. She's just so volatile.
It was one thing on Ashley tonight. How funny was it when she was getting mad at Huey, or is it Hughie? Huey, whatever.
Huey, like Huey Lewis.
Okay, Huey. I was thinking Huey, Dewey, and Louie from Disney.
It's just
yeah.
Huey. Country, so he spells it.
She was like, "What did I do to deserve this partner and all this stuff?" I'm like, maybe because you stole that money from Hunter. Maybe is karma anywhere? You're not seeing this.
And I also thought, because I really feel bad for Tommy, so I almost didn't want to say this, but I'll say it. Yeah, karma. I thought he was such a snake to Michaela, like unnecessarily. Like once he really like.
You're throwing the karma card at him.
Yeah,
now, I see.
Tommy karma too, because I feel really bad for players when they have to go home because of something like that. That just sucks. You work so hard, and like he said, he like left his, it sucks.
Yeah.
Then again, to be my contestant on a game show. It's a lot and where I drove to Los Angeles for a 20-minute stint because we went first. So we literally got there, competed, and got to go home.
Oh, that's nice.
It was really nice. But it's a lot. You have to go through a lot of stuff that harkens back to the casting, not just being like, let's send her home because they're being jerks. Like, it's a process to get on a TV show through legal and all that stuff. So I feel really bad for him because he probably had to do a lot to get there and it's far away and it just sucks to be taken out of the game like that. But
right. I know the medical DQs are rough, especially when a concussion is such an interesting thing because for years and years and years, football players had concussions on a regular basis in games and kept playing. And now the more and more we learn, it's like you get one concussion, you're out for 2 weeks to a month and they're like, don't do anything, So it's nice that they're taking things more seriously. I don't know what grade concussion he got. Who the hell knows how bad it was?
But he was going to deep dive into that, dig into that.
Devin said his eyes looked like they were just white washed out. So it's like, oh, damn, like they washed out. Like you couldn't even see his eyelids or balls or pupils. So that's scary shit.
I mean, he obviously was wounded, and I do feel bad about that.
Yeah. I'm looking over my original list that we made from the episode 1 to see if there's anyone we're forgetting. I have Kyle on here. Logan could be a strong dude. I don't know.
Logan?
It's early, right?
Logan Anissa's partner this time?
Yeah. I'm just trying to go through the list. I keep it close by, right here and frame the entire time, apparently. Right there.
The list. We got a list, Michaela.
Yeah, here's our list, Michaela, right here. Oh, look, we're still talking about it 3 episodes in.
Yay.
Any final thoughts, Pam, before we get the hell out of here?
No, I'm excited to do our deep dive because I am curious about the topics we're going to cover.
Yeah.
I was sad to see Tasha go. I thought she had a good personality and was fun. I thought she was a really good addition to the show. So I do hope there's some sort of redemption house for the Cows, Michaela, and Tasha. They seemed interesting. I was getting into them as characters, but each week brings a new and exciting finale or final. What's the final thing called? What are they calling it this time? They're
the layer.
I am excited to see what next week's layer brings.
Yes, the layer. All right. Well, thank you for joining us here in our layers, and we will see you guys next week for another after show. It's going to be fantastic, and we'll see you this week also on Patreon, the Challenge After Show on Patreon. You type it right in. Our smiling faces come right up, and that's all you got to do.
And if you're watching this now, please subscribe. Just hit subscribe.
Yeah, hit it on the YouTube there. Yeah.
Turn off your notifications. It won't bug you. It helps us a ton. And we love doing this. We want to keep doing it. So if you could like and subscribe and all that good stuff, it would help out a lot. Yeah. And lots of comments too, right? We like our comments. And lots of love, because I might not be here next week because I will be traveling to my wedding.
That's, you know what, that takes a little bit more priority than this. You got it.
That's it. I'm like, maybe I could watch it, but I don't know if we're settled in by 8. You better believe I'm watching because I'll be on the East Coast. So
There you go.
I'll check in with you then.
Well, we'll figure it out.
I'll definitely have anxious energy too, so I'll be up. But I might have things to do.
I think you're gonna be busy. It's okay if you miss next week. Everyone in the comment section is gonna be wishing you happy wedding days and all that good stuff. So.
Thanks, guys. But then I'm definitely missing the following weeks. That's why I'm like, oh, I'd like to try and.
Right.
All right. We'll
Anyways,
that out off
this is an off-air conversation. Yes. Okay. Bye, everybody. See you later.
Bye, guys.